Sports Talk presented to you by Top Sports News. I am your host, Caleb Generette. Next to me is my co-host, Isaac Deer. Isaac, how are you doing today?
Oh, great, man. We were just talking right before we started recording about this sloppy Joe that I made earlier today. Got the pepper jack cheese in the middle, toasted bread. Oh, man. After that lunch, it's all been great ever since. But
Mhm.
uh absolutely phenomenal lunch has kind of set the mood for the day. So I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to go, man.
There you
I'm
go.
ready.
That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. We want to thank our gold sponsors before we get started: Invista Credit Union, Family Guidance Center, and the University of Kansas Health System St. Francis campus for continuing to sponsor Top Sports News. Also, as always, keep using the ticker. With state basketball coming up, there's going to be a lot of different people in a lot of different places, far away from each other, so they're not going to get to watch all these games. So use that ticker so we can keep track, and also other fans can keep track as well. But yeah, I'm just ready to get right into it. So we're going to start off with some state bowling results where the Washburn Rural boys are state champions, finishing with a score of 3,711 pins, 135 pins over second place Olathe Northwest. Senior Josh Hammonds finished in fourth place individually and 22nd place for Geo Peoples as well.
Yeah, and you think about regional bowling here in Topeka, it's like Olathe Northwest won that meet over Washburn Rural, and Washburn Rural answered back in the biggest way possible. 135 pin victory. That is massive in a state tournament. That speaks volumes. Um, I knew all year long Washburn Rural's depth was really going to pay off. Like you mentioned, Geo Peoples, Josh Hammonds, Walker Thompson. There's a couple more names I'm missing off the top of my head, but man, I mean, Washburn Rural's boys bowling team, it really showed out this year. But that depth really paid off, especially against the
Yeah.
Olathe Northwest team that edged them at Westridge Lanes last week. So, um, I mean, big time showing, and congratulations to the state champions. Washburn Rural's athletic program just keeps getting better and better and better. It seems like the athletes are really committed, really good environment everywhere you go. But yeah, Washburn Rural really um, immensely showed out at this meet down at Wichita, North Rock Lanes. I've never been there, but I was looking at the pictures that were taken. It seems like a PBA bowling alley, man. Like they got the seating in the back so you can watch and everything else. When I go to cover bowling, usually I get my little wheelie chair right here and I kind of scoot around. I get the big gulp of Dr. Pepper, baby, laptop on the side, watch some bowling. It's a great time. It
There
really
you
is.
go.
Washburn Rural, 135 pin victory to win a state championship. Can't get more convincing than that. So, a big congratulations and not a surprise. I'm really not surprised that they pulled this off, but that was definitely a huge win in the biggest moment you could possibly get in. So, congrats.
Mhm. Congratulations, congratulations. Also, congratulations to Seaman boys for finishing third in the 5A through 1A bowling state championships after a very, I wouldn't say very slow start, but a slow start compared to what they're used to, and battling back to third place is really huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. They weren't looking too great. I think was it in 10th place or maybe
Mhm.
even lower before the Baker game, but rallied, had a really good comeback effort, and ended up finishing in third place. Um, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. They basically bowled pretty flawless in the Baker game. So, um, Seaman really showed out. The boys definitely didn't want to leave home empty, and that was definitely huge for them. And they've been solid all year long. And we'll get to the girls in a second, but man, that team has been really, really good all year long. And to come back the way they did, being down a significant amount, that speaks volumes to the adjustments that they made. Maybe they oiled the lanes in between. I'm not 100% sure, but they definitely adjusted big time, and that was a huge move for them. And yeah, like you said, congratulations. Third place is definitely nothing to hang your hat on. Um, you know, three out of the I don't know how many 5A bowling teams there are, but five through 1A. But yeah, third place. I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And Seaman girls also finished in third place with Katie Price finishing in second by only 4 pins. Jalen Thetford was right behind Price, finishing third, and Cheyenne Turkin finished 20th as well to round it out.
Yep, third for them as well. Not bad at all. We talk about Katie Price and Jalen Thetford often. Going 2 and 3 individually, that definitely helped them. I don't think that would have definitely brought them down. But yeah, that's just like the boys, man. It's just hats off to them. You know, Seaman girls have dominated most of all of the year. In these meets. I know that they won the UKC meet, UKC meet, if I can speak. And they did well at regionals, but Katie Price and Jalen Thetford both have been some of the top bowlers in the state. So that's a testament to them. But congratulations to them as well. Finishing strong and making Topeka proud.
Some really good bowling coming out of Topeka this year. Moving on to basketball. We had a lot of big basketball happen last week and a lot of basketball still ahead of us as well. But we're going to start it off with the Hayden girls basketball. Thrilling finish as they are headed to state after a buzzer beater from Avery Grunert to win 42-40 over Fort Scott and advance to the state tournament where they will face the number 2 seed McPherson Bullpups, I believe.
I think they're the Bullpups. Yes. Yeah, I think 100%. I think I'm 100% sure it's the Bullpups.
I believe
I
so.
don't know what their college is off the top of my head.
They're the Bulldogs, I believe.
Well, all right. Hey,
I think
fine.
so.
I like consistency, so I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what it is, but yeah, man. 3-point shot to send your team to state in
Hmm.
overtime. I mean, that's the stuff that everybody dreams about, you know, as kids or whatever. Even adults playing professionally dream about having a big moment like that. And Avery Grunner got her big moment last. What was that? That was yesterday, wasn't it? Saturday? Yeah, on
Well,
Saturday.
when they're watching it, I guess, yeah, doesn't.
Yeah.
It's yesterday when we're recording,
Yes.
but it's 2 days ago from when you're watching this.
Yes.
It happened on Saturday, is what we're trying to say.
Yes. Avery Grunner had her Hollywood moment, her movie moment, and it was, I mean, magical. You knock off the 1 seed at their house. You're the significant underdog, you know, and it wasn't the greatest shooting day for Hayden. It played well defensively as usual, but to get the 3-point shot to win the game and go to state, um, it doesn't get. I mean, it literally doesn't get any bigger than that. I mean, that's unless you win state off that shot, but it doesn't matter because Avery Grunner. I mean, she sent the team to state, and you know, Avery Grunner's not one of the starting 5 pieces, but she's one of the most valuable players on the team because they got some really deep bench pieces at Hayden. And Avery Grunner kind of is a catalyst for that as an upperclassman and everything else. So they will be going to the Tony's Pizza Event Center in Salina for the 4A state tournament. They will play, like you said, the McPherson Bullpups with a 20-2 record at 6 p.m. this Thursday in Salina. If you're a Hayden fan or a basketball fan, get your tickets there and go support Hayden and McPherson on Thursday because that could be a pretty good game. I can't count out Hayden girls or boys for anything, just because I see the competition that they play during the year. And I feel like that translates. I feel like that means a lot in terms of competition. And I feel like that'll translate in the biggest moments. So definitely go support them. They got some really good players, you know, thinking about Lauren Sandstrom and Briley Meyer, Norma Greca, Reagan Husher. I mean, they're pretty deep. So I wouldn't count them out for anything, even as the number 7 seed.
Yeah, for sure. And a big time player in their state tournament as they continue to dominate all year has been Silver Lake as they make it to state for the 3rd straight year with a 46-26 win over Rossville. They will play 6th seed, my alma mater, Santa Fe Trail, in round 1. So I don't know who I'm going to cheer for in this, but I'm excited for both ways.
No, man, go Bolts too. You know, we're not a hater of Santa Fe Trail, but you know, yeah, I mean, Silver Lake dominated this sub-state, this Perry Lecompton sub-state. So did Rossville until they met Silver Lake in that last round. But I mean, Silver Lake won their first round convincingly. They beat Moore Hill over at Perry Lecompton in the semi round. I mean, it was a running clock in the fourth quarter, in and out, everything else, and they get Rossville, and that was not the easiest game for them. It was a rough start for Silver Lake. Right off the tip, Silver Lake got into some really bad foul trouble. And if you know anything about Silver Lake basketball, um, if you listen to this show frequently, you know that Mackenzie McDaniel is one of the most valuable pieces on any team in this county, maybe let alone 3A basketball. And she had like 2 fouls in the first minute and a half, and then some other starters got into some foul trouble, and they're already looking almost at the bonus before the first quarter ended. So Rossville had a 14-3 lead, or no, 13-4 lead to end the first quarter. But Cabron Kruger opened up the second quarter with a 3-point shot. Silver Lake really got rolling after that. They're down by 9 to end the first quarter, down by 1 going into halftime, and they just kind of got their groove back and looked like old Silver Lake that wasn't in foul trouble in the second half, and they just kind of rolled on through. But credit to Rossville, man. Before this sub-state, Rossville hadn't won a playoff game in such a long time, and they knocked off Rock Creek in double overtime. They beat Perry Lecompton in the first round. I think it was like 44-3 at halftime. Perry Lecompton didn't get a field goal till the third quarter. And then they beat Jeff West in that semi round. So big credit to Rossville there. I had fun watching them all week. But yep, Silver Lake's back, as you mentioned, for a third straight time. And if you were able to read my story online, Kyle Porter ended my story with this time we want to finish the job, because the last 2 years they got there, they weren't able to finish the job. They lost to a really, really talented Goodland team last year who's back this year. So I know that they want to kind of seal the deal and bring home some gold with them instead of leaving empty-handed. But yeah, so Silver Lake looked awfully impressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made a deep run here.
Yeah, 100%. And then the returning state champions, Washburn Rural girls, returned to the state championship as well, beating Topeka High. Very tough game, by the way, 45-29, as they will face 4 seed Lawrence High in the first round of the playoffs.
That could be interesting. That definitely could be an interesting game between Lawrence High and Washburn Rural. I think Lawrence High as a player, Maya Marshall, maybe. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. I think it might be a Maya Marshall, but Lawrence High is Lawrence High is really good. But so is Washburn Rural. And even after Washburn Rural lost one of its top players in Zoe Canfield to a torn ACL, man, they make this run. They beat Manhattan, who they had to play for a third time, which isn't tough. And then they had to play Topeka High, facing them for a third time. So those are 2 really, really impressive wins. With Manhattan, that team is a lot better than their record shows. They have really good leadership there, a bunch of good seniors. And with Topeka High, man, it's like we talk about them all year. They got pieces and stars all over the place. So if Washburn Rural can handle Topeka High the way they did, and that's no disrespect to Topeka High, because Topeka High has had an amazing year, and it's a shame that one of them had to go home because they were in the top 10 all year, both of them, and the fact that they had to face each other in the same sub-state is questionable. But the fact that they handled Topeka High the way they did, I feel like that they'll be able to play and compete with anybody in that state tournament. And last year they won it all. They tasted that glory before. They have some of those pieces from last year's team on this year's team, despite not having Jada Ingram and Zoe Canfield, who were enormous for that team last year. They still got Brooklyn DeLay. They still have Mariah Lutz. You got Chloe Carlgren, and then you have Kevin Borderwick as your coach. So definitely don't count them out for anything. And I think that it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they go back to back. There's some really, really good 6A teams in that bracket. I know Derby is one of them. Derby was the one that they beat last year. And there's some really, really good teams from the Johnson County area in that bracket. So Yeah, definitely don't count out the Blues though, because if they beat a team three times the first time, and then they beat Topeka High, who they faced 3 times, they swept them too. Um, I think Washburn Rural can definitely win back to back here, and it's a tough 6A girls bracket, but you never know, man. It's March.
Mhm.
It's March, and I think they're
Yeah.
coming in as a I think they're coming in as a 5 seed, and they'll play Lawrence on 4 p.m. on Thursday at Wichita State at Coke Arena. So that'll be a good one, man. I think that'll definitely be a fun game. And Lawrence High has a really good team. Had the opportunity to watch them a couple times this year up in Lawrence for the Firebird Winter Classic, where Topeka High was actually playing and won that tournament. But that'll be a great game for sure because you got stars all over the place.
Looking forward to it. Moving on to top-ranked Seaman Lady Vikings as they make it to stay after dominating Piper 57-25. They will play 8-seeded St. James Academy in round 1.
Wasn't even close. I mean, what was it, like 73 or 71-11 in the opening round of sub-state, and then they win 57-25. I mean, and their top players aren't even seniors yet. Like
It's ridiculous.
they have some really good bench pieces too that are seniors. So they've like been around for 4 years or so, and it's like, dude, who's beating Seaman? Like I'm really thinking like they beat Emporia, who's in the
Mhm.
tournament. They beat Derby to like win the Glacier's
Yeah.
Edge tournament, which was you were texting me live from that. I was like,
Yes.
this is crazy. Like I and Derby's like a number 2 or number 3 seed in the 6A tournament. So I'm like really thinking, I'm like, who is gonna beat Steven? Like Taylor Stahlbomber and Anna Becker and Maddie Gregg, Brooklyn Gormley, and Jada Stahlbomber are so good. And then I
Mhm.
think about that bench too and how deep they are. I'm like, I don't. I think they're gonna win this whole thing. Like I know they'll have Highland Park, which will be a challenge for them. And I think Highland Park can actually do some damage here, especially with Amelia Ramsey. And we'll get to them later. Um, but if Seaman and Highland Park played, that could be a really good game. But man, Seaman's really good. Like they
Right.
are insanely talented for as young as they are, but they are just so deep. And all year long, it's like they had one loss to Baser Linwood
Mhm.
very early in the season. They play Baser Linwood again and win like by 30 plus points. I'm like, I don't know, man. Siemens, even St. James is a really good team, but I'm like, I don't know. Like Highland Park could definitely give them some trouble because of Amelia Ramsey and Tatiana Broyles and some really good shooters, and Angelique Gowan Brett's really good. Again, we'll get to that later, but Seaman is unbelievable this year. I have been overly impressed every week. From what I've seen from them, they've been such a joy for me to watch and to cover and everything else. But yeah, Seaman is legit. They are dangerous. The shooting is great. Their defense is, if you haven't seen them play defense, man, like Brooklyn Gormley will rack up 4 or 5 blocks in a single quarter, while Taylor and Stahlbomber has like 5 or 6 steals in a quarter. Like they're just good. Like they're insanely deep. They're just, I don't know anything else I could say positive about them, but like Seaman is like legit. They deserve to be the 1 seed. They just crushed everybody in sub-state, which isn't a surprise to me, but they'll do some damage here. Don't be surprised by the results if they make a deep run here. But yeah, big win over Piper, the UKC opponent. They've already played twice. They beat them twice. So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what else to say except for they will take on St. James, who's the number 8 seed on at 2 p.m. on Wednesday at Emporia State University. So if you aren't doing anything on a random Wednesday afternoon, go watch the Lady Vikes and take my word for it. You will not regret it. They are 21-1. That one loss was in, I think, double overtime. So in January or December. So just forget
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
This team is awesome. Just go watch
That's all
it.
you got to say. This
Yeah.
team's awesome. And they
Go
are
get Brahms
awesome.
while you're down there too, man.
Might as
Go
well.
get Brahms. Oh, so good.
It is really good. It is really good. Speaking of St. James, though, Highland Park just won their 22nd straight game, beating St. James 80-52, but they will face off against a very talented Baser Linwood team this week in the first round.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to the boys right now, and we'll talk about the Highland Park girls and their run that they made later. Man, it's kind of like with Seaman. It's like number one seed. You expected Highland Park to win this game, but it was just literally another game. It could have been just a random Tuesday and on January 12th, and like it really just was a 80-52 win over a team that was finished in the state quarterfinal last year. Like St. James is not somebody you can just roll over. Like Highland Park had um an impressive win over a really good St. James. Like a really good St. James team is losing by 28 to Highland Park. So I mean, if that says anything, um, they're in good hands, man. And Bo Aldridge is back. The team is back. The team is healthy. I think Bo Aldridge had 28 points and 11 rebounds against St. James, and he was one of like 4 Highland Park players in double digits. So, I mean, there's nothing else to say, but Highland Park, we've been talking about it all year, man. They are good. They deserve to be the 1 seed. Um, I think they'll win state. I definitely think they'll win state. And not necessarily run through all the competition because I'm looking at the 5A bracket and like it's pretty deep. But I definitely think Highland Park's going to win it all, and um, they got everybody back too, and they got such a great coach in Mike Williams as well. So yeah, I don't think anybody's beating the man. I
It's
really don't.
tough.
Yeah, really have what 22 wins in a row. They're 22-0 on the season, so I don't think this is the year they lose. I'm just gonna be quite honest with you, man. It's they, there'll be a team in there that I think might give them, a fight, but other than that, I think it's all theirs to win. So
Mm. And moving on to the girls who had a much closer game in their sub-state final. Um, Man, they won in dramatic fashion, beating Shawnee Heights 51-50. What a turnaround. What a turnaround for Highland Park.
I think it's been 11 years since I think that they've been to the state tournament. It's been a very long time since the Highland Park girls team has been, in the state tournament, in the hunt for the ultimate prize. And you think about, what was it, 2 years ago? 2 years ago they were winless, barely filling out a roster. The year after, they win 4 games. That's the year that Rob Brown he took the job, and it's like, okay. And then he said, echoed to me all year last year, just trust the process, trust the process. We get this group next year and the year after, just keep trusting what we're doing. So you go from 0 wins to, 0 wins with barely filling a roster. Then you get 4 wins. It's like, okay, no, there's definitely something here. There's definitely potential with this group coming back the next year and the year after, because this team this year, no seniors, not a single senior on the team.
Wow.
And now that they are in the 5A state tournament after beating a really, really good Shawnee Heights team, like Emery Doby and Taylor Rottinghouse and Taylor Rance and Cadence Torres, and you just go on and on. They beat a really good Shawnee Heights team that was rolling off of momentum against a good win against a DeSoto team. Yeah, you mentioned the score though, 51-50. It was it was definitely at the last second. It was you know, Highland Park Shawnee Heights had 9 seconds to hit the three to tie it up to go to overtime. They missed the three, and I think it was like maybe a second left. Emery Dobry hit a two, and I think she had like 23 points, by the way, so nothing to slouch on there. And Shawnee Heights finished yeah, definitely finished short there, but Highland Park, man, that place was bonkers. That place was that place was awesome on what was that, Thursday night, Friday night, Friday night.
Friday
It was,
night.
yeah.
Mhm.
It was everybody was really happy in terms of Highland Park to see the girls team get to the point that they wanted to go to, but going to 0 wins to 4 wins to the state tournament. That's super, super impressive. The goal for Rob Brown, I talked to him in December and January. I go to see Highland Park quite a bit, and he said, our goals are to have a winning record, then to win the conference, host a sub-state game. And he says if we win sub-state, that'll be a huge step forward. But they have no seniors, not a single senior on this team. So the fact that they are back where this is actually just kind of new territory for everybody. So this is unicorn like in terms of this doesn't happen very often, but it's definitely a huge round of applause for Rob Brown and the players that they have there and the coaching staff that Rob has. So it's a tough draw for them in the first round with St. Thomas Aquinas with the 19-3 record, but it's March, baby. It's March. You never know. And then Highland Park at St. Thomas Aquinas will play at 4 p.m. on Wednesday at Emporia State. So go support the Scots. This is a pretty big deal. So but yeah, big congratulations to them, and tip of the cap to Rob Brown for turning that program around, because it wasn't looking great for a while, but he gets there now. They're in the biggest dance of all, so that definitely deserves some credit and some love there. But yeah,
Sure. So now we got our Fave 5. Got the
Ooh,
best segment in all of Shawnee County.
that's right.
You can make the argument, the best segment in all of Kansas. You can make the argument, the best segment in all of the Midwest. We are, I don't want to brag here, but humble brag. We're legit. The Fave 5's legit.
Yeah.
So,
And show us, go subscribe if you haven't. If you have,
yes.
thank you. We love you. Go
Mhm.
subscribe. We think we do a good job. We think we do a pretty fair job. We're confident in our work, but it would be nice if you subscribe to the channel, maybe follow our Twitter pages down here, just kind of, whatever. Just show us that you're watching. That's all we need to know. Because we're at 67 subscribers, which isn't bad. We love all 67 of you. But there's a couple hundred people at least watching every episode. So we need
more.
Yeah, if you love us that much,
come on.
all we need. Just a little subscribe.
Come on.
Come on. Look
Hit
at
the
us.
sub button.
It's
Hit
the
the sub
number
button.
one talk show in all of Shawnee County.
It's true. This is true.
Every Monday morning. That's all I gotta say.
Every Monday morning, maybe.
Yep.
All right, well, let's just get to it. Fave 5.
Yes.
I'm gonna push my mic out of the way so I can beat you again.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, God dang it. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, God. Was that three times in a row?
3 in a row now? Oh, my gosh.
Dang it. All right, man.
The allegations are coming. I'm going to get drug tested after this episode.
You really are. I got you. Got somebody going to your house right now. What the heck is this? Yeah. All right, man.
Let's talk about number 5. Got to give a big shout out. Avery Grunert from Hayden. One of the most electric shots of the year. One of the most electric shots that I've seen. Banked in a long 3-pointer in the sub-state championship game to win over Fort Scott and put them in the state tournament in Salina this week. So congratulations. You just made the list.
My number 5 spot has been a regular on my list, but now that their season is over, probably not as much going forward. But Jalen Thetford from Seaman finished third individually in the 5A state tournament, a 3-game series of 167, 243. Nice. And then 214, adding up to 624. But that was third in all of Class 5A, which had a big part in Seaman getting the third place finish that they had as a team. But Jalen Thetford has been absolutely rolling this year. But Jalen Thetford, you just made the list.
Congratulations. Next one. big time shout out to Jack Batchelor, who didn't end up winning the game, but one of the most insane games in Kansas basketball history for sure. Uh, if you don't know what happened, just look it up on Isaac's Twitter and you'll figure out exactly
No,
what happened.
don't do that.
we'll
Oh,
figure out we'll figure out exactly what happened in this game. But
yeah.
Bachelor placed Rural or had 31 points on 11-15 shooting, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Did lose 74-72 in a 4 overtime loss against Derby in the sub-state championship. But still, great game from Jack Batchelor. Great game from Washburn Rural as they continue to try to get better. But shout out to Jack Batchelor. You just made my list.
Yeah, and I mean that is the worst way to lose possible. And if you do search that and you do run across my tweet, I'll heavily disagree with what happened. And I think 90,000 people saw that I disagreed with that. But man, Washburn Rural, what an effort, man. But yeah, just falling short. But Jack Batchelor leaving the court, 31-point performance to finish off his stellar career. That definitely tip of the cap for me. I'm sure from you because we talk about Jack Batchelor a lot here on this show. But yeah, stings for Washburn Rural, but congratulations to everybody just for having a successful career there. So we're gonna go to my number 4 spot here.
Mm-hmm.
We're sticking with the Seaman Vikings. We're going back to the basketball court here, which will be a common theme. I'm going to go with the freshman, Maddie Gregg, the Seaman Lady Vikes, in their ginormous sub-state win over Piper. She led the way with 19 points on 9 of 14 shooting. That is extremely consistent. Maddie Gregg has just been, awesome all year long. She's they're kind of undersized in the paint, but Maddie Gregg and Brooklyn Gormley, that 1-2 combo down low has just been, nothing short but great. They're number 1 in the state because of players like Maddie Gregg and everybody else that comes along with it. But she's been awesome all year long. And the freshman getting her big moment and having a game high 19 points, that's awfully impressive. So Maddie Gregg, you just made the list.
Congratulations. Staying on the basketball court, one of the best players that we've talked about all year, Mackenzie McDaniel from Silver Lake. They started off slow, but basically in a quarter and a half, she got 14 points in the sub-state championship win over Rossville. And she's just been, as I said, one of the best players that we've gotten the chance to cover this year, not only in 3A, but all of Northeast Kansas. So shout out to Mackenzie McDaniel. You just made the list.
She's such a good person too. I've interviewed her a handful of times. She's a team first player as well. But you know what is funny about what you said? I think we should stay in Silver Lake. I think that'd be a good idea. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here, I'm gonna go with Cabrin Kruger at my number 3 spot. Cabrin Kruger had a huge part in that comeback for Silver Lake to beat Rossville in the sub-state championship. They don't really come back a lot this year. They've done it years prior because this same starting 5 has played a lot of games together. Cabrin Kruger has been part of that. But after going 0 for 10 as a team in the opening quarter, Cabrin Kruger opened up that second quarter like 8 or 9 seconds in with a 3-point shot. And after that, Silver Lake fans were hopping. The Bird's Nest was crazy in Perry Lecompton. We got fans all over the place, and Silver Lake got a huge momentum boost from Cabrin Kruger's 3 after being down 9. And then after that, Silver Lake rolled. So I have to assume that Cabrin Kruger's 3-point shot provided just a surge of momentum here. So I think that was so big that it really, really lifted the team up. So I think with her pretty productive sub-state as a whole, her great year, being back in Hutchinson with that same starting 5, she's got to make the list. So Cabrin Kruger, good job.
Congratulations. Yeah. My next one is a regular on these lists. We've talked about her already for a little bit. Amelia Ramsey from Highland Park. She just continues to dominate. She was vital all week long as she had 16 points and 10 rebounds when it mattered most. in the sub-state championship game. So shout out to Amelia Ramsey. I'm sure there's a good chance you make the list next week. So congratulations. You just made the list.
Absolutely. I would not be shocked if Amelia Ramsey, I mean, they call her double Mills in the pressure cooker for a reason, man. Like she is, I think she had 16 points and 10 rebounds in that sub-state championship. Yeah, Amelia Ramsey, talked to her the other day after the game. Everybody was crying happy tears, literally everybody. And Amelia Ramsey was so good with her time, and she was so happy after that. So I mean, that was awesome to see. But yeah, Amelia Ramsey might make the list again next week. So I wonder how many weeks in a row that is. Every week.
Good question. Every week. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. My number 2, we're going back to the bowling lanes here. We're going to go with Mr. Josh Hammonds of Washburn Rural. He rolled a 725 at the Class 6A state tournament. And Hammonds finished 4th, and he had the highest score for the team who won that state title. So he was in front and center of a team that had a great day. So, I mean, Josh Hammonds he's got to make my list as well. But Josh Hammonds, congratulations, man. You just made the Fave 5, baby. Let's go.
Congratulations. My last pick, my number 1 pick.
Yes.
Katie Price from Seaman finished 2nd individually in the 5A state tournament. She rolled a 257, a 189, a 191 3-game series, adding up to 637 total pins. Congratulations, Katie Price. You just made my list.
Another great pick, by the way. She's been on the show in terms of on the Fave 5 list. I don't even know, 3, 4, 5 times on the Fave 5 list. So great pick. Great pick. Picked the teammate Jalen Thetford earlier, who's been on my list quite a bit. But that means we're going to my number 1. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to go with that bad man. And his name, it's got 2 letters. B-O. Bo Aldridge, baby, finished with 28 points and 11 rebounds to lead four players in double figures in the Scots 80-52 win over St. James Academy to go to the 5A state tournament at Emporia State University. But Aldridge is back. The team is healthy. They are ready to go. They're ready to try to do what they can to bring a state championship back to the pressure cooker. But Bo Aldridge, man, you're number 1 on my Fave 5 list.
Congratulations. Congratulations to everybody involved, no matter if you were on the list, if you won some hardware this past week, even if you got eliminated this last week, you played really well all season. So congratulations to everybody involved, and good luck to everybody involved in the state tournament this week as well. But we'll be back next week to review all of that with another episode of Top Sports Talk. Once again, Isaac mentioned it earlier. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, because if you made it this far, you had to like something. Leave a comment as well. Tell us what you liked if you made it this far. And yeah, Isaac, you got anything else?
I'm excited to watch some state basketball this week, man. I'm pumped to see our Shawnee County teams compete and try to bring back a state championship like Washburn Rural did last year. And I hope one of the teams will be successful. And Seaman, the Seaman boys won last year, but Washburn Rural, they're back this year. So I'm excited, man. This is a great week. And then, after that, spring sports are just like, they're right there.
Around the corner.
Yeah. But let's go, man.
We're here. We're here. All right. Well, we will see you next week with another episode. But until then,
peace.
Goodbye.